Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is going to be a really, really great interview. I'm with a good friend that I met through a Biggie Shack. We did sort of like a group thing where, all these kind of cool guys that just gathered and showed their cool books. And this guy is like my twin. He's basically me. He collects the exact same stuff that I do. He chases after the same books, and he's my clone. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Matt. One sec here. Hey, Matt.
Hella good to see you, bro.
It's really funny because every time we're on Biggie, we always are showing kind of similar style books. It's just one of the funny things whenever we go on. We're always chasing after the same books. I'm always excited to see what you're going to bring because I'm like, okay, that's on the shopping list. so, um, so how did you get into collecting comics?
Well, first, I wanted to say thanks, man, for inviting me to be on. It's such an honor to be on with the Comic Collector Geek. And true, man. Everything you said is true because when I saw your collection, I was like, wow, we collect a little bit of everything, and then we've got a lot of common off the
Mhm.
camera. And so it's funny. So I'm going to start
Mhm.
referring to you as my brother from another mother,
Yeah, I
considering
was going to say that too, but I was letting you say that. So.
And so, I got into collecting. So this is how, excuse me. So I got into collecting. I got back into it in 2015, 2014. And
Mhm.
I used to collect when I was younger. And so I actually still had my collection from when I was a kid. Most folks usually throw that stuff out, but I kept
Yeah.
everything. So I still had all my old Ninja Turtle stuff. I had all my old Venom, my 90s stuff, Spawn. I still had my
Mhm.
off the rack Spawn one. I had all my 87 New Mutants. I had all that stuff that I had that
Wow.
got over the years. But I just kind of got into the hobby of collecting. I said, I want to get back into collecting comics, and it's something that's not at that time. I didn't think it was too expensive. It kind of tells you how how things have changed. But
Mhm.
it's a little hobby. I'll get back into it, and I'll just get back into reading some books and going back to the comic book store. Just get back in it because Alan, we were young. We had to cut grass to get
Yeah, yeah,
comic
yeah.
books.
We had to
Had to
earn our
chore.
comics.
Yeah, can't go tell you, Mom, I want to go get this Hulk 181 off the wall for $50 back in back in '94. That just wouldn't
Yeah.
happen. So I said, well, I'll get back into it. And so I got back into it, helped start my channel with
Mhm.
my buddies. And we started the Comic Hall crew. And so we started that in 2014. And then we started going to conventions. We started buying books. We caught the variant bug. We were buying variants. And
Mhm.
I just said, you know what? I'm just going to jump all in. And then I started buying to collect for the future, save, pass down, the normal gamut. And so
Mhm.
it's just been really fun, man. I've met a lot of fun people along the way. And it's really cool because once you get older, you can afford this stuff
I
where,
know
where you
that's the
couldn't when you
difference.
were younger. And so now I can buy stuff. I'm going back buying a lot of stuff that I wanted to get when I was a kid. Because I remember
Mhm.
as a child, man, I went to our local LCS. It was at another location then, but I remember distinctly I was looking at Hulk 181 on the wall, and at that time
Mhm.
I think it was $35.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, $35. And I remember thinking, wow, man, that's a lot of money, because
Yeah, yeah,
back
yeah.
then you had to cut grass. I had to cut grass to do it. And I didn't have the foresight to think about it when I got 19, 18 when I was working, that I could actually
Mhm.
went back and bought the book. I wasn't thinking about it then. And then, some of these prices that Amazing Fantasy was going for back then, you probably could,
I
I was
know.
like, man, I could have got, a lot of that stuff. But,
Mm.
hindsight is 2020. But you know, I just now, it's just basically just, just going out enjoying it. If I run across something I like, I pick it up. I started expanding my horizons, and and of course we'll discuss it a little later on. But you kind of see what I'm dealing with now. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So actually, I was kind of going to ask you about that. Like, how did you get into Golden Age?
I got in the golden age. It's fun. It's a little funny story. So at my LCS. I've actually been collecting Golden Age for a while, just not as bad as I do it now. Back in
Did you
about,
collect it as a kid even? Like,
you know, it technically, yeah, because I collected a lot of Hanna-Barbera cartoon books and stuff. So if you want to theoretically, you know, Dale and those old Dales, yeah, I was buying them.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just didn't realize what they were.
Yeah,
And so
yeah, you probably
yeah, I'm
they're
just buying
the
stuff, you know.
comic, the cartoony book. Yeah, yeah, you probably
You know, what's funny is I was watching the show last night, and I saw I saw them show the first Tom and Jerry, and I was like, crap, I saw that book. I just
oh
didn't know
wow.
what it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it had Little Rascals on the cover. So I was like, oh no, I don't, you know, I like Little Rascals, but not enough to buy the comic book. So I was like, oh no. But then I realized it was the Tom and Jerry. I was
It's
like,
Tom
crap,
and Jerry.
yeah, I've seen that book before, you know. And so I started buying Donald Duck, the Mickey Mouses, the Bugs Bunnies, you know,
Mhm.
the Silver Age stuff, Golden Age, and then when I started collecting, like actively collecting Golden Age, where I am now, that's when I realized, crap, I missed up on a lot of stuff. Like I actually saw the first Mickey Mouse comic. I know a dude that had it, and
Is that the one with the seesaw, or is
well,
that
not that one. This is the four color, the
the
four
four
color.
color?
Yeah,
Oh, the one like with the ghost.
with the
Like,
ghost. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
saw that book and didn't realize what it was,
Mhm.
and then the significance of it. And I went back to buy it, and he had sold it maybe 3 weeks at a convention up at Wizard World. So I was like,
Wow. Yeah.
man, that
I
that's a
missed
tough.
out on that book twice. That I
Yeah,
almost had it and then
yeah,
just slipped
yeah.
through my fingers.
And so
Such a great book.
that's the thing about collecting golden ages. You think about the books that you have passed up of seen and missed.
Mhm.
And you know this old adage, Alan, is basically with golden age now, it's just make it happen. You gotta find a way to make
Yeah,
it happen. Yeah,
you gotta buy it when it's there. It's like
yeah.
that's the only chance. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So how about you show some of your books? Like, I was kind of curious
All right,
what you
so
brought.
I got one of my favorites right here off the top, and you've seen this before, but this is one of my all-time favorites. This is the Planet
Oh my
Comics
goodness.
56.
Okay, that's you're lucky somehow. The Fiction House books, and I'm gonna make you big here, but I'm gonna the Fiction House books have a tendency of fading. That one is super sharp. You are
Yeah,
so lucky. Like mine looks real. Like I have the same book, but it doesn't look as crisp and sharp.
yeah.
That's really
There's
nice.
not a whole lot of fade. It's like you said, somewhere or another retained this color, and
Yeah.
I guess whoever kept it, they kept it somewhere, probably tucked in a dark spot, cool spot, but
Mhm.
it retained its color,
Yeah,
and
it's really nice.
yeah,
That's
and
one of my favorite Planet comics. I think that's just such a great cover.
yeah, when I saw this cover, and you being a good girl fan as well, it was just
Mhm.
automatic, like, oh yeah, this is this is a win. And then for 48, I don't think people what happens is I don't think people realize that these books are from 1948.
I know. I know. That's like when my parents were babies kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I look at it. I'm like, man, my grandma was in her 30s or 40s back then. It's just like,
Mhm,
wow, and these books were just going off the shelf. Tens of people were buying them, and
mhm.
you look at the history. And I've got another one here. Show. I've got this is probably one of my most important books, and this is feature books number 5,
Oh wow.
and this is from 1937,
Nice.
and this is actually, I want to say this is the third or fourth appearance of Popeye in an actual comic book, because this story actually retells the actual not book. A lot of people don't know that Popeye's first appearance was in an actual book, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and so a lot of people that go past it. So if you're ever in a bookstore, ask. I think it's for feature books or something along like that.
Mhm.
But this is the actual comic book. They actually had this is issue 5. I think they had 5 issues of it, 5 or 6 issues. And I just so happened to catch somebody online. They offered it, and I don't think they knew what it was, and I got it at a really good deal. I think I
Yeah,
paid.
the early Popeyes are pretty great. I mean,
Yeah,
and they're right now they're a little bit undervalued in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree because people don't understand this, the historical significance of Popeye in my book. I think
Hmm.
Popeye characters that kind of gets tossed under the radar, and a lot of people don't look for his like they had some IDW variants that they did.
Oh my goodness, I love those.
Yeah,
Those are amazing.
I've got one or two somewhere. I think they're probably I didn't pull those boxes down, but I've got an olive oil variant that's really
Oh
really hard.
no,
The
it's not the
yellow
one that I'm thinking.
is the
It's the
one.
one that I've been chasing.
Is it the one with the yellow cover and she's kind of taller than him?
Um, the one I'm thinking is it's like it looks like almost like a street scene, and it's olive oil and I think Bluto or somebody like that. I think it's that.
I'm gonna see if I can
It's
pull it up.
you're gonna check it. There's like a bunch of variant covers that IDW did that are just amazing, and I've been trying to get that one. There's just a bunch that are really great,
Yeah,
actually. From that.
they're so rare that you can even find the covers for them. And what happened is I was at there it is. Actually, I just popped it up. Hold on, let's see here.
They're actually pretty expensive. They go
They
for
are.
like few $100 plus. Like I've seen some actually go up to 1,000, which is crazy for a brand new book.
Yeah, I'll share my screen here so you can
Oh, okay, wait. How do I do this? Do I do it like
there
that?
you got it. Yeah, it's that one.
Oh, that one's actually, I've never seen that one. A lot of these, as you said, you
Yeah,
don't see, um, they just don't see them.
yeah.
Um, so
I
that
tell
one's,
people a little tip, Alan. I tell people a lot of times, especially when you go to some of these stores, you just go to the children's section. A lot of people don't
mhm.
go to the children's section, and you can find a lot of this stuff. Or um, if you're in a flea market, these tend to like sit in a flea market. People throw this kind of stuff in the flea markets. They see it as Popeye. This is just Popeye.
Yeah.
And
But
so
it's
they,
the retailer incentives that are just ultra rare
yeah. And I think
because
this was,
nobody ordered them. They just
yeah.
weren't.
I think most of those 1 in 25s or 1 in 10s. I think it was like 1 in 10s, 1 in 25s, or something like that. They were very, very rare to come by. And you can find them still at cover price because I bought mine at cover price.
Oh wow, you bought that one
Yeah, I
at
bought
cover
it at cover
price?
price. Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's like a $300-400 book.
Yeah. It's got a few nicks on it. I've got to do a little pressing on it. I think I can press
Mhm.
it out. It's not too bad, but it didn't break the color. So I think I
Wow,
can clean it
that's
up.
nice.
So I actually got it in a pile to get sent off. So I'm gonna send that off to get graded. Yeah.
Every so often I see those come up on Heritage, and they go they go pretty high.
So I picked this up this week, and this was
Want me to
actually
make
one
it
on my
in?
grail list. This was House of Secrets
Oh,
92.
nice.
And
You were showing me this before we started the stream, but
yeah, I was
every time I see it, I'm so excited. It's just awesome.
I passed up on it back in 2019. I actually ended up buying. I know somebody's gonna laugh at me. I ended up buying Saga #1 for like $200 signed, and I was just like, yeah, I'll get, I'll go back and get that. And then I got home and got buyer's remorse.
Yeah, but
And
I
I
mean,
was,
Saga is still great, by the way.
yeah,
You
Saga's still great. Yeah,
yeah.
that's not knocking Saga anybody in the chat, But
I actually like that book too. So
and so I said, well, I'll go back and get this. And so I looked and looked, and then I started just seeing it, priced out of the roof. And
yeah,
one of my LCSs, man, he had it. And I was actually buying something else, and I looked up and saw it up on the wall, very top wall. And I said, hey, is that House of Secrets? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, hey, man, I got some books I trade for that. And we did a really good gentleman's deal, and I was able to get this at a very, 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 very good price. So I was
wow,
thrilled. I was put like this. I was able to get this under $1,000. Put like that. So if I
wow.
got it at $1,000, that's a gentleman's deal. So
That's the kind of gentleman I want to meet.
I was thrilled to be able to get that and finally add that to the collection.
Wow.
So I've got a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, show it. Bring it over.
Yeah, and show stuff. So I'll start with some of these. Some of these you've seen before, but that's
So obviously you send stuff over to CGC because that's a CGC box.
yeah. All right, so So we've got right here. I'm just trying to organize. I feel like you today, Alan. I got all this stuff. I gotta climb over. All right, so we've got the Strangler
nice.
cover from Crime Mysteries 21.
That's
this
nice.
book, this is a book that if you're patient, you can catch it at a good deal because a lot of people don't realize. One, this book led right into the comics code. So this is one of the last few covers before, I think, what was this published?
So it must be like 54 or something like that.
Yeah, 54. Yep. Because I think December, somewhere along the line in that year, the code popped up. And so this is one of the last few books right before the code. So yeah, so this is one that tends to, because people see it as 54, they'll just discard it. And that's the danger of not.
They think, it's like it's not really golden age. It's not really.
Yeah. But so you're able to find these at a good deal. So a lot of times if you see 54, don't chuck it away, pick it up anyway.
Like some of those 54 books are the most rare and most valuable.
Yep.
Especially in pre-code horror. That's always.
And then this is another one that I was excited to get this year.
Oh wow,
Rula, the Jungle Goddess. This is actually her first title with her in her name, Rula. She was formerly known as Zoot. And so a lot of back then they would do titles and just wake up one day and say, you know what, we changing it. And so that's what happened with Rula. And so this is a classic Cayman cover. And the thing that I love about this cover is just the colors. I'm a big color fan of Golden Age work. So I love looking at the vibrancy, the colors, the line art, everything was drawn with a purpose. And when I got this, I got this at a con, and the guy sold it to me. It was the price I got it at was amazing. And so when I got it back and it was a 4, for me and you, I tell people, Golden Age, you get 4, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Man, that's high grade.
I know that's like a great grade. But you must have known that was a high grade. It looks pretty sharp.
Yeah. When I got it, Alan, when I got it, you just never know with Golden Age. You just never know.
Yeah. It could be like, I'm always paranoid that there's going to be something missing or some color touch or something.
Yeah. That's what spooks me a lot of times is the color retouching. So I was like, man, I was hoping it didn't have any of that. And this is another one I got.
That's a book I'm chasing.
Taffy 12. And so this was another one. I bought it from the guy online. He knew what he had because he told me. He was like, he had to pay some bills. So he said, I got to sell this. And when I got it, there was a little bit of a rusted staple there. And, I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. Rusted staple.
No.
Pay the price. And it came back with 4 or 5. I was like, oh, okay.
You dodged the bullet on that.
Yeah. And that's why I always tell people, you never know what you're going to get when you send it to CGC. You just pray you don't get the purple label. And you
Yeah.
And even in that, appreciate that, man. And
I've been trying to get that book so many times.
Yeah, this is a tough one to find. And I was really excited to get these. And there was a period of these Golden Age books where everybody was, and I don't know the history, but I know everybody was doing this ice skating cover where people were like skating right into a puddle or whatever. So
that's probably like 48, I would guess.
Yeah, that's 48. Yep, it's February 48.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Now here's two of my prized possessions here. And I actually got these 2 books, and I told you the story too. I'll tell you the story. I've got these 2 books. I was at a Comic-Con, and I got one book, and then I literally went around the corner, and the other guy had the other one, and I had to find them. And this is Lobo, Del Lobo 1, and the hardest to find, Del Lobo number 2. Now, when I bought this book, Alan, the seller said, "Oh, there's 2 pages missing, so I'll sell it to you for $50." I said, "Okay." And so I said, "Okay." And so when I sent it off to CGC, I said, "Okay, well, I know I'm gonna get slaughtered on that.
You're gonna get a green label or something."
Yeah. So when it came back blue label, I just started laughing. I said, "Oh man, I think he made a mistake." And
Yeah,
so
you probably just didn't count right. You know, if you
yeah,
miscount when you're
yeah. So this is actually hard. Dale, this book is number 2 is actually harder to find than number 1. You'll find
yeah, I
this one
see the
before you
number
find
one every so often, but
it. Yeah,
the number two you never see. You never
yeah.
see it.
Number 2 is extremely hard to come by, and if you see it, pick it up. And you can usually find those when you're dealing with someone who doesn't know what they have. So you may have a vendor that may have a long box of stuff that they may have bought on the collection, and they're just putting it out on the floor, so they don't know what it is. And sometimes you'll be able to find books like that in those kind of
Well, the
boxes.
cool thing about that book, and like there's a couple big things about that book. First of all, it's the first black super, first
Yep.
black hero solo title would be a
Hmm.
best way to say it. But the cool thing is it's a Western.
Yeah.
And Westerns are kind of undervalued right now. Like they're like nobody really likes Westerns right now.
Yeah.
So sometimes like vendors when they see that it's a Western, they're like, this is not a good they
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
realize
They don't
what it
care.
is. And then they sort of like, it's like, not dollar bin, but maybe like 50, $100 rather than the big price that it probably, obviously deserves. So that's my hope that I'll find it where the vendor doesn't realize the significance. But so far, I haven't been lucky like that. I've been asking, I've been looking, but not so lucky.
So I tell people this too, man. You'll love this. Like you can find a lot of Western good girl art because, like you
Yeah.
said, they don't value it. So you can go
Mhm.
to a comic book box and you can find westerns for like pennies on the dollar because, like you said, they don't care about westerns, man. And you'd be surprised at some of the artists that did artwork for westerns, you know. And so you can get those books at really, really good prices.
Yeah, like both Matt Baker and
Yeah,
LB Cole did a lot of
yeah,
westerns,
yeah.
and they're like two of the most famous artists from the golden age. It's like,
Speaking of LB Cole, I've actually got. Let's see. No, he's back here. So I just saw it. Let me see. I was trying to organize some of this last night for you.
so for my viewers, Matt is as organized as I am. Like we're all we have these piles of comics everywhere. It's kind of funny. Like if you, like behind me is the same organization that Matt has. Like I have my comics all behind me on the floor.
Yeah,
It's
I've
so
got.
funny. Honestly, you are my twin, man. It's so funny.
There we go. I got it. There we go. This is a toughie to
I'll
find.
make a
Too, Alex.
picture.
This is
Oh my
pop,
goodness.
pop teenagers,
I just
and
picked that book up.
if I can zoom, if the camera
Yeah,
focus
it'll
here,
let you zoom in.
this is the Star Publications copy.
I
So
just picked that book up.
excellent.
Literally picked that book up.
Yeah, excellent pickup, man. Because this book, a lot of people get the accepted. The
Yeah.
accepted is the reprint. The Star
Yep.
Publications is the one that you want. This is the first
Yep.
print. Yeah,
That is an incredibly rare book, and it can usually go for anywhere 500 to 1,000
yeah,
there. Yeah. Even
yeah,
the reprint goes for a couple $100
yeah,
in that
yep,
grade.
yep. And this is one of my favorite LB covers.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite too. That I picked it up in an auction on my comic shop um, about 2 weeks ago,
Nice, nice.
and I'm just going to get it sent. It's at my stackery thing. I'm going to get it sent over. I'm so excited about that book. I was like,
Yeah, yeah. I have to see that. Let me know what you get on that grade when you get it back, man.
I don't. It's not graded. It's my comic shop grade. It's like
Okay.
how. So I think it's a 2530
Yeah,
range.
yeah, yeah.
So
I've only
it's
seen the high grade one of that, and I think that was in the Promise collection. If I can remember,
yeah, and then that's like
talking like
tens of
seven,
thousands.
8.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a king's
yeah,
ransom.
yeah. Of course.
We've
Yeah.
got your girl,
Oh, nice. Fire
Fire
hair.
Hair. Yep. Ranger Comics number 48. This is speaking of faded covers. Rangers Comics are notorious for having faded orange type
Yeah,
colors
yeah.
in their books, and so I was elated to have gotten this in a high grade. Um, for
With her hair actually being orange,
yeah,
being actually
actually,
fire.
yeah, actually Fire Hair for a change. And so Matt Baker, I'm a huge Matt Baker fan. I've got a
Mhm.
huge collection behind me of Matt Baker. But I was elated to have, I told you anytime I see high grade golden age, you buy it. And especially at a good price, you buy it. You don't think twice. Just go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really great book. So yeah, I'm
Um,
I'm a big fan of Fire Hair, but I'm so close to finishing that collection. I only need 2 more books.
wow.
Yeah, and then I'll have the Fire Hair run.
All right,
Yeah.
we've got
Oh, nice.
crime suspense stories. This book is actually taking off
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this book went through the roof in the last 3 or 4 months. I bought this book, man. You're gonna flip when I tell you what I paid for this. Graded. I paid $200 for this book graded.
Oh wow. I
And
paid 300 for mine, and it's a 1.0.
somebody, what it is I think everybody's chasing that because if I'm not mistaken, I think 22 is one of the outrageous covers, and so people just flip right past 23. They just, I'm going after 22. So a lot of these crime suspense stories, if there's a popular issue before it, most people don't look for the issue behind it. But see, told you we twins, man. Yeah,
It's so funny.
and so you can find these books. Really, I'm telling people laugh when I tell you that these books are undervalued, and you can find them at good prices if you are patient. You have to be patient when you buy Golden Age. That's the key, because otherwise you'll get thrown off by prices.
And that's actually a key significant book because it's the one that was used in the Senate hearings.
Yep. This is where the Sodi covers. Yep.
Yeah. It's not Sodi. Well, it's
used in the Senate investigation. Excuse me. It's used in the Senate investigation.
But what they do is they blow those ones up on these big poster like size things and say, "Oh, is this appropriate?" Oh, Dogface.
So we got Dogface Dually 2 and number 5.
I don't have any Dogface. They're really great.
You can find this one a lot. This is actually one if you look for it.
Actually, I like that one best of the 2.
Yeah. I saw this. I'll tell you how I got it. How I found out about Dogface. I was at a show, and this gentleman had the book, and he wanted like $700 for it. And I was like, I was not about to pay $700 for it. And so I looked, and I just put it on my favorites. And so when one popped up at a good price, I said, you know what? I'm gonna put an offer in for it. The guy bid on the offer, got the book. I actually thought this was gonna be graded like a 1.5 just because of how rough it was. White cover too, and it came at 3.5. So I was like, okay, well, cool. And then I got the number 2, and that came back. I thought that was gonna be a little roughed up because there's a rusty staple down here, and there's one up there as well. And it came back a 4 or 5. So like I said, they with Golden Age, you just don't know what CGC is gonna do.
Yeah, sometimes I find that they can be a little easier about grading them, and sometimes they're, you never know. You get all over the place.
This is another one that's extremely hard to find. You don't see this out in the wild too often. If you do, normally the cover's tore up or it's crumpled up. And this is Scream Comics, number 18. This is a good girl cover that kind of goes under the radar. And this book, I've seen this book go for low grade. I'm talking like 0.5, 1.5. I've seen this book go for about $4.50 at low grade. Yeah, this is a tough one to find. So if you see this out and about or online,
do you know the artist or
it's not credited. Yeah, they don't credit the artist on this. And I was looking for that as well.
What's the publisher even?
Ace periodical.
Ace. Oh, Ace. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so put that one on your list, Alan.
yeah, that's definitely on my list.
He's writing it down now, ladies and gentlemen. He's writing it down. I hear the pencil.
Taking notes.
This is one of my favorites. You can't go wrong with Peanuts, number 1. I wish I had the actual that's number 1.
That's the reprint, but
so.
But it's still great.
Guy, I bought it, man. One of my panelists, one of our panelists on the Comic Hall crew. My good brother Dusty Britt Brown was with me, and he saw me pay $75 for this.
Oh, that's
guy had 70 for 75, and I said, "Hey, I'll take that." And everybody was looking at me, wondering why I bought that book. And I said, "Y'all don't know."
That's actually a pretty good price.
I was like, "Y'all don't know what this is," and they were like, "No." I was like, "Okay, good." Good, so I can go buy more of them.
Wow, that's really funny.
This is another one of my favorite. This is actually my favorite
Oh, I know
Sensation
that cover.
cover.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great one.
her Sensation run covers are really beautiful.
Yeah,
Uh,
I actually like Sensation comics better than Wonder Woman for the
yeah,
covers.
yeah.
Just way better.
A lot of people go for Wonder Woman, and so sometimes you can find these. Sometimes you can find these at a decent price. I've actually got 29. Might be in one of these boxes down here, but I've got 29 tucked away somewhere. It's probably my
Yeah,
stash to get sent off. I showed you that off air last week, but
yeah. This is one of the best covers from the Sensation run. The flames are just amazing.
yeah, you got the flames, you got the heroism, you got uh,
Yeah.
it's a lot going on this cover. It's the brightness, the color. So I got this from a good buddy of mine, world famous Dave's. Everybody who ever watches our show, you know we
Mhm.
refer to the world famous Dave's here in Georgia, and he got this collection off of a lawyer, and
Okay.
so he had probably about 40 issues of Sensation Comics.
Wow.
And I saw this cover and was like, Dave, I really got to have this. And so I got this issue. I paid 200 for it,
Wow,
and
that's such a steal.
yeah, and I and I got it, and I was thinking it was going to probably be about a 2.25 black. Got black in there, so it's a little bit of a
Yeah, harder to get up
yeah
in the high grade.
hard to deal with black and dark color. So it came back a 4, and when I showed him, he flipped. It was like, wow, man. He's like, you know how rare it is to get a Sensation and a 4, man. He's like, that's crazy. So yeah, I just got this back probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and it actually, let me say, fun fact, Alan, this actually has a full page ad for Miss Beverly Hills of Hollywood #1.
Oh, so for people that don't know, that is a great book too. That's a key
Yeah,
book.
yeah, major book.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
first Dorothy Lamour in
yep,
comics.
yep. All right, so I've got another cool cover, and this is not Golden Age, but it's actually for one of my favorite artists. I'm a huge Bruce Timm fan,
Oh, me
and
too.
so Spicy Tales 11.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, is I've actually got his Naughty and was it Naughty and Nice?
Naughty and Nice.
Yeah, I've got
That's
tucked
the
away.
art book.
Yep, I've got that tucked away in there. But yeah, I forgot how I saw this cover. I bumped into it somewhere, and I saw the cover and was like, holy crap, I really like that. And it just was scream Bruce Timm and Good Girl.
Mhm.
Bruce Timm and Good Girl. I was like, yep, let me grab this. And I think I paid like 125 for it or something like that.
So
And
I'm pretty sure, like here, actually, I'm gonna make you big again. Sorry, what am
yeah,
I doing? Okay, I think that's supposed to be Sally the Sleuth.
okay,
I think because the Spicy Tales series reprinted stuff from the Golden Age,
yep, yep.
and I think it's either Sally the Sleuth or some. I think it's her. Does it say anything on the store, like on the
It
cover or anything?
it doesn't. It just says Bruce Timm. It does, but I think
Okay.
these are retelling because
Yeah, like I have the whole run from
yeah,
that. It's a really great run for anyone.
yeah, and they got some great
Yeah,
covers in that run too, man. They got
really
some
great covers.
really
Yeah,
good covers.
and that Bruce Timm one's probably the best. But
I've got some other stuff here. This is one that if you can find some of these are
oh,
Mopsy.
Mopsy. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mopsy.
Yeah, Mopsy's got some pretty cool covers. And
Another
very underrated.
underrated series. Like
Yeah,
you know,
and this is from St. John. Another thing I always tell people: if you ever see St. John publication, pick it up because you don't see
you-
St. John publication. There's a couple of them. It's St. John, ANC,
yeah,
uh,
ACG is really
yeah, ACG. You've got Ace, Fiction House. You just see the names. You just pick them up. You don't even
yeah.
yeah, you don't
Yeah,
even think about
Mopsy is one that you can pick up relatively cheaply. I mean, it's always underrated. Like I really enjoy it.
it. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've got a few of. I've got quite a few Mopsy books that I bought that were really
Do you have
underpriced.
Pageant of Comics?
That one I do not. I know what it is, but I don't have that one.
Yeah, that's her first appearance, right? Pageant of Comics #1, where they're kind of diving. Yeah.
But she's diving with the dude, and he's holding.
Yeah.
I think he's on top of her. Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. So I've got you got Hetty of Hollywood.
It's another great title.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of stuff like Nellie the Nurse,
Yeah, me too.
Nellie, all of that. So anytime I see any of these covers, I pick them up. I think I bought this for $100. I
Oh,
told
nice.
you it's criminally insane how some of these books are, and then on the back of it, it has a full lingerie ad on it.
Oh, wow. The funny thing is, if you have like a comic, even if it's not a good girl art cover, and it has like a lingerie back, that will actually sell for more just because that ad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, people collect those ads. That's
Yep.
really great. They have that's a doubly nice book.
Yeah, that's the two good. All right, and then I'll bring it up a little bit here. I've got one of my favorite Batman covers. I've got quite a few of these, but this is one of my favorite ones. This is
Yeah,
of course, Ra's al Ghul. Yeah, this was one of the books that I actually bought this book when I got back into collecting, and I had been wanting to get it, and I was like, you know what? I'll grab it. Dude sold it to me for a good price. It was way cheaper than what it is now.
Yeah,
way cheaper.
Once Neil Adams passed, that book went through the roof.
Yeah, I was like, I was so thrilled. I was able to get that before he passed away. This next book came in yesterday, Alan. This actually came in the mail yesterday, and I know you got this already because I've seen you. I think I've seen you show this before.
Oh, but, yes,
I paid $20 for this, man.
It's another sadly underrated book. It's so fun. I just like her feet.
Yeah,
the craziest
big feet. Yeah, big, massive feet. But yeah, it's a little rough. A little rough there, but $20 for that, I'm not.
Yeah, $20. Yeah, every day I'll buy that for
$20. Huge Jungle comic collector. So we got Jumbo Comics. Cayman.
And what issue is that?
That is 57. So this is 1943.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it's the later issues that you want to pick up, like in the I think it's like 60s or 70s. Where Matt Baker starts doing Sky Girl, and those are really great.
I actually kept the price on this one. I actually paid $100 for this. This is 91 with Jack Webb and Jack Kamen art.
Okay, that's a good issue. So that is a really sexy Sky Girl.
Nice.
So what happened was when Matt Baker started doing Sky Girl, it was pretty tame at first, and then he kept on making it more and more spicy. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
And so I've got that, and then we've got another one of my favorite artists, Maurice Whitman.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I love his line art, and so the way he does his colors is really cool. This is another one I got. This is a Fiction House as well. This is 52. This is number 149 Jungle Comics. So
wow.
I'm starting to see a pickup in interest in Maurice Whitman too.
Yeah, I've been really getting into him as well. So
this is another one I showed this on Biggest Shack show last week, and somebody's gonna know what this is in the chat.
Well, I now know what it is, and I appreciate it much more since you showed it. I've been doing my research on that book. It is incredibly rare.
Yeah, I was like, how tough it is to find. I was like, it is extremely tough to find, man. It is. This book is hard to find. So
all the books you showed are incredible, but that one is probably the most expensive of them all.
Yeah,
of the ones you showed, it's
very
so crazy expensive.
Yeah, I was able to get this at a steal because it's so rare that the store I bought it from, the guy said he couldn't price it because he couldn't find it anywhere. He couldn't find it in a recent sale. And in my head, I was like, yeah, you're not going to find it because it's impossible to find.
So I saw one that was same grade as that, and they wanted $3,000 for it.
Yeah, that's about right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. This is.
Oh, I love that series.
Yeah.
I just completed that series. So
congratulations, bro, because this is an expensive series to complete.
Yeah, it's got some really amazing covers.
Yeah. And for those watching too, when you're trying to complete some of these runs, and Alan will tell you this, even if you buy the book at low grade, just remember you're completing a run. You don't have to buy everything at high grade.
Yeah.
In the golden age. If you want to, and if you got the disposable income to do that, then that's on you. But I will bear witness that yes, you can complete these run at low grade and you'll be perfectly fine. Most people
Yeah,
never see this stuff, so to even
but
have
even
the
in low
appearance,
grade, it's expensive.
yeah, and that's the thing I like about collecting golden age books, Alan, is that
Mhm.
you can buy these books back, twos and ones, and I've seen 0.5s. I saw 1.5 in a book sold last week for like $6,300. I mean, you'd be
Yeah.
surprised at some of these books, man. Just think. Let me put this in perspective. If you had the what's the cover? What's the cover, Alan, with the Punch Comics with the skull?
Oh,
Uh,
that's 12.
12.
Punch.
I saw on Heritage. I want to say it was a 2.5 sale for like $14,000 or $15,000 last
Yep.
week.
Yep. Yeah, me too. I saw that one. That
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah, 'cause I was like, okay, I think everybody in the United States was sitting there. That's a Golden Age collector was sitting there like, okay, well, if this stays, under 5,000, I might take a stab at this.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, so with that book, I always like watch heritage auctions, and I mark all the ones that I want to watch, right? And they start off at $1. So you
Yep,
think
I have a
maybe
chance.
this time I have a hope.
And then about 8 days later, you come back, and it's like,
It's like, yeah,
how did this happen? Or you see somebody, then you see the buyer's premium, so you're like, oh Lord, like no
I
way.
forget which book it was. There was like like one of those really big ones where it went for like half a million or $1 million.
Yeah,
I put a bid on it. Like I think it was like either Superman one or
yeah.
or Action one,
Just
or it was like a big book.
just take a
And
shot
I
at it.
just
Like,
put a bid just to put a bid on it. I knew that it was going to go way
yeah,
above that. If I had won it for that, I would have like had to mortgage my house or something. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
All right, we've got Captain Science
oh,
number two.
nice.
This is
Yeah, it's
class.
another
Yeah,
great
you.
book.
This is one you can actually find this book if you look hard enough. Alan, actually, I'm gonna send you the link. I actually saw this somewhere recently. I'm gonna send you the link.
I actually have that in my shopping cart.
Ah, good. There you go. There you go.
So
You got it.
as we're recording this, that book is in my shopping cart before we recorded. So
Yeah, excellent.
yeah, I really like Captain Science. I
This is
only
the
have
book,
one currently, but
Alan. This book can go for a pretty penny. I was surprised, even in low grade. So
mhm.
one of the things I like about this and what drew me to it was you got everything you want in the Golden Age book going. You got
Yeah,
good girl art, you've got high color, you've got UFOs, you've got
yeah.
the helmets,
Helmet, that bubble helmet is great.
you got robots,
Yeah,
androids. Yep, you got everything you need in the Golden Age cover. You got
and
a good girl cover,
and you
right?
also have that trope where the guy's like carrying the girl. Like,
Yep,
I think of like Startling 49 and all those kind of books where, somebody's holding the girl and she's kind of like, I don't know, passed out or
yep,
like always in that kind of position.
yep. And so always you see this kind of stuff, low grade. This is another case of low grade. You pick it up, man, and see. I thought I was just gonna get like a 0.5 because there's actually like tape all on this. And so I was like, oh, they'll probably give me a 0.5, 1.8. I was like, okay, well, yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm wondering though, with the Captain Science, and I know I have one issue of Captain Science currently in my collection, and I'm wondering if they cover swiped other Golden Age books and then sci-fied them,
yeah.
because I
I
have
think
one. Yeah.
I think a lot of artists back then, it was just basically, man, they were going looking at other people's stuff. We're going to take this, and it's nothing new that we don't see today. I just think that everybody was taking from everybody's cover because you'll see a lot of swipes.
Mhm.
Back look, you'll see like I was mentioning earlier about the ice skate. I've seen that swipe so many times in Golden Age books that yeah, I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure they were basically taking stuff and putting a spin on it. You know,
Yeah.
uh, and then we'll get to something in a little bit here. I'll pull out some other stuff, and
Well,
you'll
there's a
see where some
really
of these
cool with
artists came
Captain
from.
Science where, and it's a total cover swipe, where it's like a guy in a plane, the girl's strapped to the front of the
Yeah,
plane,
yep,
and in the Captain Science version, they put like a instead of other planes, they put like spaceships. It's just like,
UFOs. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's the exact same cover, like it's almost like they traced it. It's like,
So this book I got back. you know, centerfold. Let me tell y'all something, man. If you're missing a centerfold in a Golden Age book, you're gonna pay the price. And so centerfold's missing. Now it's like, holy smokes, man. So they dinged me all the way down. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, but let me stress this, y'all. Let me stress this. But a lot of times with Golden Age books, you just want the cover.
Yeah,
So,
it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah. So you get the covers intact with good. It was a good girl cover. I was like, you know what? Yep. Big bold letters, gay. Yep, we're gonna take that.
Gay, Georgie. Yeah, there's so many great titles in that. Related to that one. That's just such a great book.
All right, here's a book that I know you have, and this is a book that is one of my favorite good girl covers.
Oh yes.
Torchy, number 4. Yep.
That's a really sweet book.
Yep, beautiful Gil Fox cover. And this is one. It's gonna probably run you what, Alan? What, 1,200? I say roughly about 12, depending
I'd
on
say
where you.
like probably 1,000 to 1,200. Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000 to 1,200. This is it's a little bit more expensive than what it was, but you can still find this one if you look. I see this pop up probably once every 6 months now.
I forgot how much I paid. I think I paid 500 or 600 for mine, and mine's a 50.
Yeah, I bought mine from an LCS. I actually bought this with my Ninja Turtles #1, and I paid $250 for this.
Oh, nice. That's a really great price. That's a great price.
Yeah, this is actually my first good girl cover. And I was just like drawn to I was like, man, this just really looks good, man. And so
I like the humor of it too. It's just a really great cover.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones, it's military cover. Good girl covers are really cool too.
Okay, show one more big book, and then I'm gonna have to
wrap it up. All right.
Soon. Yeah.
I'll close it out with a big one here. All right, so this is my holy grail. This is my grail of grails. It's not Hot 181 for those who wait. No,
I was going to joke that was my joke. I was going to say, "Oh, you're going to pull your Hulk 81." Everyone always does that. This is my grail.
No, it's not Hot 181. Anyone who knows me, I'm actually giving it away. I'm actually wearing the shirt. So I've actually got. So this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, first print, and I got this book for a whopping $700.
Wow. I remember you told me that before, and I was like, oh my goodness. I wish, that's a golden opportunity. Like, that's just such an exciting book to own.
Yeah, I got a good buddy of mine who runs a store allowed me to go through some of his back stock, and he said, whatever you pull, I'll give you a price on it. And I pulled this because he's a big Turtle fan. And so he thought about it. He He said, I'll let you get it for $700 cash. And I said, well, hold on, let me go to the bank. And I went to the bank.
Let me just run over to the bank.
Yeah, bid it up. And so, Alan, it's funny because I was looking at this last night, and knowing what I know now, I was looking like, I might be able to press this and get this stuff about at least a point. I might be able to get this pressed up to a point. But I'm kind of like, you know what? Nah, I might just leave it where it is. But
yeah, it's such a sweet book. I always love that book.
Yeah. So this
I told you I'm making payments on mine.
Yeah. It was funny because Alan, you say that, but it's funny because I can remember when this, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but this book was actually you could afford it at one point. It was. I remember you could go get a second print for $200-300. And
even the second print's now like not an affordable book.
Yeah, it's second and third prints are outrageous.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like I saw it was like thousands of dollars. I was like, it's a second print. It's not.
I could, like I said, Alan, you know how we do it. I could go on for hours on hours of books.
Yeah. We'll have to do it again. Again. I'm actually thinking, just for you and for the audience, I'm thinking of doing almost like a room tour with, some of the people that do these things. So part 1 is the interview. Part 2 is sort of the room tour where
I got something real cool I'll show you before I go.
Okay. Show one more cool.
It's not a
Oh, I think I've seen you show this before.
Yeah, this is actually some art I bought, and it's actually old Darwin
I,
It's Batman, and it's an actual Darn rendition of the old Darn drawing from the early 1900s. But it's all Batman characters.
yeah. I like that. I like the bunny girl.
Yeah.
I think she's
Yeah.
like so, but that's really nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces of art. When I saw the guy who did, I forgot the guy's name. It's Nathan Shadesky, I believe. And I saw it and I was like, yeah. And he only made like a few prints of that. So it's like only maybe 6 of those out there.
So that's not a Snurdy, is it? Nathan Snurdy?
I think
Is it SZERDY?
yeah. I think that's it. Yeah. I think
That's a Snurdy, or I call it Snurdy. I totally brutalized his name. Is
yeah,
Zerdy?
I was
Is that Zerdy? It's probably Zerdy, but I always
Yeah.
call him Snurdy. I don't know why. It's wrong. I know it's wrong, but it's Zerdy, and he does amazing good girl art. You should
Yeah,
look him up.
you know, I bought that from him in Savannah, and I
Mhm.
think the thing was I was like, it was so weird dimension on it, and he's like, yeah,
Mhm.
man, I made it. When I bought it from him, he said, yeah, I know I botched the dimensions on this, and I was like, oh no, it's no problem. And then when I got home and started looking for frames, I had to get like a custom frame for it.
Oh, because it's weird dimensions. It's
Yeah,
not.
just weird dimensions on it. So yeah, but
So,
yeah,
by the
no,
way,
he's
his
right. It's really good. Well, good girl stuff. Yeah, real good
yeah,
stuff.
his stuff goes for like his like he'll do like variant cover, right?
Yeah.
And they go for like 60 $100 right off the gate, right off the
Wow.
bat. So so to
You know,
have
it's
that
funny.
piece
You know what's
is
funny?
probably
I wouldn't have thought that because like I said, I saw him in the con I was at was really small. It was really small con here in Georgia, down in Savannah, and he was just sitting at a table, and I looked and I said, hey man, how much is that? And he's like $20. Now sign it. I was like, what? And I was like,
wow.
yeah. And so I was trying to walk around the con the whole damn day without bending
Yeah,
that
the
up.
same thing.
Yeah, yeah. So I was trying not to bend it up, man. So yeah,
Wow, that's
that
really great. I mean,
cool.
that is a really cool piece. That's why I was like, hey, that bunny's kind of sexy. Is that Snurdy? Yeah, or I call him Snurdy, but it's
Yeah.
Zerdy. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so what book are you chasing right now? Like, what's your big grail that you're
What's my
chasing
big
after?
grail? So my big grail book right now would probably be at Punch Comics. Uh, there's a Green Hornet book that I think I've showed you this. No, I
Hmm.
have not showed you this. There's a Green Hornet where it's a good girl cover where they're trying to save a girl who's get ready to fall off of a building onto. There's a communist parade at the bottom
Great.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to find. I know I've got somebody that got one, and they're holding it for me. And hopefully, next time we see each other, I have it.
Oh,
So
that's cool. Yeah, I'll look forward to that. So that's really cool. I like those early Green Hornets. I'm actually sort of
they're hard to find too.
I actually have my eye on getting a Green Hornet #1, his first appearance in comics. Um, but it's like $3,000. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's like those Green Hornets are very expensive. A lot of times I go to conventions and I ask, "Do y'all have Green Hornet?" And they'll pull out the
like
Bruce
the
Lee
gold key or
and I
yeah,
said,
yeah,
"No, I need the other one." And they'll go,
yeah,
"Oh, I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know the other one." I was like, "Yeah, the other one
yeah.
is the
The
one."
other one, the Golden Age.
Yeah.
Um, so wow. So yeah. So where can people find you? And what are you up to? That's I guess
So
the last question.
so I am a member of the Comic Hall crew, and we have a
Mhm.
show. We do our shows usually twice a month because we're all middle-aged men with lives, family, kids, all that kind of good stuff. So we're on twice a month, and we are here on YouTube. And so we talk about a bevy of different topics.
Mhm.
Sometimes if you're lucky, you'll catch me going a rant about how about some of these comic stores.
Mhm.
And then we are on Instagram at Comic Hall Crew. Uh,
Mhm.
and so we're actually probably sometime in 2023, we'll do something similar, Alan, where we'll have guys come on and show some of their prize possessions and prize books as well. And
Mhm.
we have different stuff. Like sometimes we'll talk, we don't just talk comics, we'll talk wrestling, we'll talk music.
Mhm.
We're kind of a pop culture uh,
Yeah.
show, more or less anything. So yeah, we'll talk comics. We'll talk about a little bit of everything, and we have a bunch of people. It's probably about 7, 8 of us on there. You know,
Mhm.
anybody who
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
Big
It's
Remo.
all on Biggie Shaq's channel usually, right? Isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
well,
the
yeah,
comic.
we've got me and Sean are usually me and Puff Comics are usually on Biggie Shack.
Mhm.
Big Remo is usually on Drunken Chat with Mighty Mel V. So
Mhm.
you know we kind of NWO-ish where you see some of us
Yeah,
somewhere,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
know,
make
and
it
then
like a
we'll
big
all get
wrestling
together.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, that's really cool. So I'm going to put all those links in the description so you can check out Matt, and definitely recommend you check him out on Instagram too. I'll link to your Instagram. But your Instagram is more your photos.
yeah, I'm actually a photographer. A lot of people don't know I'm actually a
Yeah.
National
And
Geographic.
you're
I've
a
shot
great
National
photographer,
Geographic.
actually.
I
Really
appreciate it,
great.
brother.
Yeah, yeah. His stuff's pretty awesome. Like he's like he's not like one of those wedding photographers. He's like a real photographer. Okay. That's how he can afford these books.
Yeah, that's why I like it when Nat Geo calls. They say, "Hey, we need you to go shoot stuff." I'm like, "Yes, I can go buy
Yeah,
a Grail. I can
yeah,
go
yeah,
buy a
yeah,
Grail."
yeah, exactly. So thanks again for coming on the show. I really appreciate you, doing this interview with me, and we'll have to hang out some more, either on Biggie's thing or just
Yeah, Alan, I
us alone.
absolutely had a blast, man. It's always fun, man, and like I said, it's always fun chilling with you, man, because you know we collect the same thing, and
Hmm.
it's really cool stuff that I don't know about. You let me know, vice versa, and
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
really cool, man. And I've always admired your collection because you
yeah.
got
Yeah,
some books that's
I
like,
admire
bro,
yours.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was such an honor, man, to be on here with you, man. Because like I told you
Okay.
before we met, I was following you well before that night. I remember that night you popped in the biggest chat, and I was like, wow, it's the comic collector geek. I actually, just got through
I know.
watching the
I
video.
was surprised you knew who I was. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of funny. So yeah. So thanks again. And for people, please put a comment below if you're interested in getting interviewed. I'm always looking for people to interview that have great collections, and have great stories about comics. And I'm really trying to make this a community thing where we all get involved, we all show our collections, and we meet great people within the community. So thanks again for everyone for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye for now.